Hi, I'm Brian Madison with DeerHunterFan.com TV. Today's October 18th, Thursday. Just got done with the morning hunt. I'm going to head up to the field with the food plot. I'm going to move one of my spy point cameras to the back corner of the field, where in years past I've always had one there. I had that camera go down. There's a tree stand there. I'm going to move that camera, get that set in that corner, and loosen up the tree stand because I haven't done any maintenance to it or anything. You know, it's a good idea before you hunt a stand, go up there, look at it. Every year the trees grow, so you want to loosen up the straps so that there's not crazy amount of stress building on those straps year after year. You might have one break. So you want to loosen them up, then just re-cinch them up to where you want them. That's what I'm going to go do right now. I did check trail cams on the hedgerow stand. Tank was there, the 8-point, over the last few nights. And a younger 10-point was there. No sign of jackpot the last week and a half I think. Maybe even 2 weeks now, which isn't surprising. I mean, the weather's really cooled off, but we're still a ways away from any kind of rut action happening. I mean, I haven't seen anything going on. I've even seen younger bucks still traveling together. October 14th, morning hunt. This was when it was still dark out. I think it was a doe, come in and bust me. I was just got set up. I was just turning around to sit down, and it was right there. The leaves are still kind of wet, ground's still kind of wet. You don't really hear the deer until they're about 30 yards away, so that's where she was. And then as you just saw, I had those two young bucks come in, the same young buck from last night and a different one. That was neat. They messed around down there for about 10 minutes. Looked like a 2-year-old buck and a 1.5-year-old buck, luckily. The bigger one kind of took it easy on him, because the younger one was definitely the instigator. And then the cows walked up behind me and spooked them off. The younger buck actually picked me out of the tree when they went on alert, but luckily the older buck didn't see me, so the younger one didn't make a big fuss about it and spook out of here. They just kind of trotted down the hill and then wound up walking away. They just went out of sight. It's been a good morning. excited that my lighted knock didn't go off. It's deer season. Officially. JJ got a doe last night. I'm no rocket scientist, but I think I just got one. That was so perfect. That's what I wanted so bad. It was just a great opportunity to catch a deer completely off guard and just take my time and place an arrow. Because if you remember last year on my buck here in New York, I hit him in the shoulder blade, just below the shoulder blade, right in the knuckle. And was so lucky to recover that deer. And I told myself that day, I was like, the next deer I shoot at with a bow, I'm placing an arrow at the right towards the back of the rib cage. And guess what? I did. How exciting. Elena Mandel, there's the deer I promised you. Here's your deer meat. I love being able to shoot a doe and give it to my sister and her family. They love deer meat. And I love helping them get it. Okay, we're going to start looking for that page out here. We're going to have to try to find blood, okay? That's how we're going to follow her. She ran this side of the tree after I shot her. Hopefully it's out of her mouth. It's right in the middle of her track.
Told ya, when you see lots of blood, that means we're getting really close.
And then it'd be
this way. Turn.
yeah.
Oh, she went this way.
Oh yeah. Crawled over this tree. Alright, go back around the tree that way.
There's a little bit. There's lots of it.
Good job. You gotta find more.
Oh, look, I just saw a squirrel.
Yep. I think she went this way.
Let's see.
See how the bit's showing? That means because her foot hit there and threw it up. Look at their blood.
Yep, she did.
You see blood?
Huh? There's some.
Okay.
I saw another one from this side.
Here's my arrow. Careful, it's pretty sharp.
There's your arrow.
Alright, keep going on it. Yeah, I think she look at that way.
Oh, there she is.
You found her? Okay, stand right here now. We always make sure they're dead before we get too close to them, right?
They can hunt you.
Yep. Okay, she's dead. Got her. Look at her. What do you think of that? Good tracking. So after you shoot a deer, you gotta tag it. You gotta put that on it.
It stinks.
It does stink a little bit.
It stinks a lot.
The out hole is a little back. You did a really good job tracking, honey. All right.
Let's go home and show Mama.
Yep. Go ahead and kneel down. Don't stand on it. Kneel down. Don't put your feet on it. Just kneel down. Okay, well, we found her. She probably ran 180 yards, I'm guessing. Paige, this is her first time tracking a deer, and she did pretty good. She followed the blood.
And I found her.
And you found her. Give me 5. You did super good. So, like I said, I wanted to make sure that on my next shot, I was aiming right for the last couple ribs. It's definitely where it hit. Came out just right behind the last rib, so I probably got liver on the way out. Arrow stuck in her was the issue. I wouldn't doubt if once we cut her open we see there's some broken ribs, and that's why the arrow stuck in her, because it was only a 20-yard shot. But we got her. I'm happy. Are you happy?
Now this is what we can eat for dinner tonight.
Yep. Alright, well, thanks for watching DeerHunterFan.com TV. It's October 18th, morning hunt. First sit in the hedgerow stand this morning. I think it's still a little early in the season to be sitting here without any trail cam evidence of daylight movement, but I thought I'd give it a try, because where I got my climber in the woods where I shot the doe, and where I'm trying to cut jackpot off, moving from these fields to the woods, the wind wasn't really good for that this morning. Wind coming out of the northwest. The wind's not great for this spot either, but it's still alright. The wind out of the northwest here cuts off 1 out of 3 major spots that deer come from. But I thought I'd give it a shot. I didn't see anything. I'm about to get down. It's pretty chilly. I think it's 37 degrees and pretty stiff breeze when it picks up. It makes it pretty cold. I haven't checked this card here in a week, I think. A week or week and a half. So I'm going to check this trail cam here and decide if there's some daylight action. I might sit here tonight, but I'm leaning towards going back up into the woods. The wind's going to shift around just a little bit, and for the evening, what the wind was doing this morning wouldn't be bad in the evening. So as that wind starts to swing back, it'll still be all right up there for the evening. Just went and moved that trail cam and loosened up that stand and re-cinched it up. Shot my bow a few times. Actually made an adjustment on my bow. When I shot that doe, everything felt good. The arrow flight was super straight. And shot at a squirrel the other day and missed left by about 3 inches, which I thought was odd because I was right on that darn squirrel. And came down to today and launched 3 arrows, and sure as, believe it or not, 3 inches left. So I made an adjustment, just took 2 shots at 20, 1 at 40, and every single one was touching that dot. The one at 40 was a few inches high, but I just paced off 40. I didn't range it. So but left and right was perfect. So I made the adjustment, paid attention to the marker on my sight of where it should be. So if that moves, you know, maybe that's something to start now, is every day or two glance at that number, make sure that sight hasn't moved. Now, something I've never done, but you always keep learning. You know, I'm going to start to do that now, start paying attention to that number on my sight. I mean, these bows go through a lot of rough treatment, not on purpose. I mean, hunting is tough. You start doing it every day. You're in and out of the woods. You're in the mud. It's in the back of a gator. It's on your lap. It's bouncing around. It's on your bowstring, up and down trees, climbers and shooting houses. I mean, the bows go through a lot of stress, even though we try to baby them. So keep that in mind. So as I said, on Thursday morning, I checked a trail cam at the hedgerow stand, and once again, Tank was on camera. And touching base on my strategy one more time that I've been doing with my climber is to get back up in the woods, up above the fields where I was getting trail cams of Jackpot and Tank and all these other deer 8 o'clock at night down at the hedgerow stand. I was hoping to cut them off by going up in the woods with my climber. Now, that spot in the woods there is kind of on a hillside. At the top, it's a flat area, pretty open, and a lot of acorns. Deer, obviously, the last few weeks have been pounding in there, feeding in there, and there's not many left on the ground, but the deer are sure still going through there looking for the last few acorns they can find. Afternoon hunt all set up. Same spot where I shot the doe. Not much else to say. Let's see what happens tonight. Still cool, still breezy. Wind's in our face. Hopefully deer coming from that direction right down in front of us. just put an arrow in the second biggest buck on this farm. And it's a nice deer. It was a quarter-inch shot. He gave me fits with the camera. Every time I had him perfect in the camera, you can see how shorter the camera is than me. Every time I had him perfect in the camera, I had branches in my face. Every time I was ready to shoot him, there were branches in front of the camera. I drew on him at 35 yards, and I had to let down because right after I drew, I looked at the camera and he was just going behind these trees. That was a real quarter-inch shot. I think we're in business. Alright, it's been just over an hour, I think, now. We're going to start tracking him. Arrow didn't go through him because he was quartering away, so hopefully the arrow fell out a little ways down here and we should hopefully get good blood. He's right up here. Check this arrow out here, bud. Shine your light on this for your dad. When I put it in back, I tried to put it in through his liver, but because it put it right up through everything, how hard he was quartering. Now let's go get our hands on him. Look at the body.
What a buck.
Look at this buck.
What a nice buck.
He's got a little sticker. 9 point. This is Tank. I just named him this morning. There's the other half of my arrow, maybe. I just named this buck this morning because over the last week his neck really puffed up and he looks big as round from his neck all the way back to his hindquarters. We'll get him propped up here and get a good interview as soon as I fill out the tag. Keep filming the tag fillage. This afternoon when I put that picture on Instagram, a lot of comments on there about what a massive body he had and what a small rack. Well, it's almost like he made this appearance tonight to prove to everybody that he had a big body and a big rack. And then New York makes you put notches in the tag for the date so that the tag can't be altered. We found him, not much of a track job. He didn't go far, and I didn't think he would. I was really comfortable with the result of the shot that he wasn't going to go that far. This is Tank. I just named him this afternoon. Had pictures of him and back in September and thought, man, that deer's got a big body. And I got a picture of him this morning when I checked trail cams, and his neck has been getting a little bigger, and I was just like, man, that deer's a Tank. Well, there's his name. Really happy he's got a sticker down here, so he's a 9 point. I'm happy. It doesn't happen like that often where they come in the bright sunshine and take 45 minutes to come into you. Like I said, I drew back on him twice. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to let down the first time when he walked out of the camera frame. Luckily I was. And this deer was not straight downwind, but the four does that came through came from directly downwind to me. And just yesterday I started putting my clothes in a tote with a scent crusher unit, and I'm going to say I think that made a big difference. Like I said, he wasn't the one downwind, but I had 4 deer go past me when he was there, and they were downwind. So I'm beyond happy with this. I'm pumped, absolutely pumped. Great buck. So on Thursday morning, the morning hunt, I hunted the hedgerow stand, and at the time, little did I know, 2 hours before I was climbing up in that tree, Tank was standing right in front of that stand. So on Thursday morning, because of the way the wind was, it was coming out of the northwest, would have been blowing down. If I was up in the woods with my climber, the wind would have been blowing towards the hedgerow stand. So it would have been blowing right at where I'm anticipating the deer coming from. So I knew I couldn't go up in the woods in my climber even though I wanted to, and I could about bet my paycheck on it that Tank probably walked right by my climber in the morning time too. Went up in there and bedded. In the afternoon, got up, went to work his way back down through. But I was in the hedgerow stand playing the wind. Super glad I did, because if I would have busted him out of there, well then I wouldn't have got a shot at him then, and I sure as heck wouldn't have got a shot at him Thursday night. So, I mean, I feel really good about the game that I played to get a buck in front of me. Of course, every hunt requires some, if you want to say in quotes, luck. But at the end of the day, luck can only attribute for so much of it. You still got to be out there. You still got to put in the effort. You still have to do some things right, and you sure as heck got to make a great shot at the end of it. And that's another thing. I mean, he was taking his time coming in so much, and finally he got right in front of me, and he started to pick up the pace walking. I didn't think I was going to get a shot at him, and then for a while I thought he was going to march right out of the camera screen before I could get a shot at him. Luckily he turned and went to walk away from me. Super hard quartering shot. I placed it back, and it went right up through him. Only ran about 80 yards. He was down within 10 seconds, I can guarantee it. I heard the crash. I couldn't see him. He was just out of my sight where he fell. This deer just capped off an amazing week of hunting for me. On Sunday morning, I was able to harvest a doe. Finally shot a deer in the morning time when Paige wasn't at school. Got her to come out and help track the deer. She loved it. She did great. And then to shoot over 100, he measured 121 inches, so over a 120 buck with a bow in New York. It's my third one in New York that I've done that, over the 120 mark. So I look at that as a pretty darn good accomplishment. And I'm tickled to death with this buck. And now I'm going to go after those long beards. I'm Brian Madison with DeerHunterFan.com TV.
DeerHunterFan.com TV is sponsored by Antler Ice, DHF Archery Range, Muddy Outdoors, Outback Archery, Ridge Runners Guide Service, Scent Blocker, Schreier Outfitters, Sinclairville Seed Company, and Spy Point.